Hey everybody, ABC 10 meteorologist Brenden Mincheff here. We had some recent snowfall just in the last 12 hours or so. Fell Tuesday night into Wednesday, which is great news, but it wasn't a lot of snow, all things considered, and it's just been a tough season so far. Let's break it down. We're going to really focus on the snow and its impacts and the lack thereof, what it means for drought, and all that good stuff. Let's start with the 24-hour snowfall reports from the Sierra. Sierra at Tahoe, 18 inches of snow, the big winner out of this storm, it looks like. Kirkwood and Sugar Bowl both got 11 inches out of the storm. The Sierra Snow Lab near Donner picked up 10.8 inches. They're pretty exact with their numbers because it's a research facility there. Bear Valley, 10 inches of snow. Palisades, Tahoe, 8 inches. Homewood, Mount Rose, and Tahoe Donner all picked up half a foot. That's 6 inches. And then North Star at 5 inches. So generally, very generally, 6 to about 16 inches across much of the Sierra, and that includes the I-80 corridor, which has been under chain controls for most of Tuesday night and through the first half of Wednesday to this point. If you're wondering how much snow Sacramento got, that would be none. In fact, our snow drought continues. It's been 17,499 days since we've had at least 1 inch of snow in Sacramento. And in fact, the last time we had 1 inch of snow, it was 2 inches. That was on February 5th, 1976. This is a bit of a joke, of course. We don't really expect snow ever here in the valley, but with some snow droughts going on along the East Coast, where it's been about 2 years since places like New York City and Washington, D.C. and parts of New England have seen 1 inch of snow. Just kind of thought it was an interesting little tidbit to see how long it's been in Sacramento, just in case you're curious. But really, the snow drought is a real thing this year. The Department of Water Resources, DWR, did their January snow survey right at the start of the new year, the new calendar year, I should say. And they found that the percent of normal was 25%. So to date, 25% of average in the Sierra. This time last year for the January snow survey, 185% of normal. If you want to explore those numbers in a different way, when we look at it as a percentage of the April 1st average, which is typically peak snowpack, 9% of the April 1st average so far this year. And then last year at this time, it was 68% of the April 1st average. Now, it's early, of course. It is very early on in the water year still, so there's time to add to these numbers, but it really just, it's like I said at the top of the video, it's just been a tough season so far. In terms of snow, Northern Sierra, 10% of that April 1st average, 28% average to date. Central Sierra, 27% average to date, 10% of the April 1st average. Southern Sierra, 19% average to date, and 7% of the April 1st average. Now, we still have time for these numbers to change, but it just is a large departure from where we were last year. Now, the saving grace, if you will, for this year versus last year, this year, we're not in drought. So we're not desperately in need of a at least average water year, let alone an above average year. So that is the good news, whereas last year we really, really needed that rain and the snow. Here is data from the UC Berkeley Sierra Snow Lab. Again, this is near Donner. And what you're looking at here, the blue line right here is your average snowfall. This is accumulated snowfall in inches, and it's compared to 1991 to 2020. And then what you see in the red here, that's this year. That's only 42.5 inches of snow, which is 38% of average. And then when you look at the snow water equivalent of the snow we've seen this year, it's only 37% of average. So, yeah, tough sledding. And this is representative, no pun intended there. This is representative of the Sierra really as a whole this year. It's just been hard to find the snow coming out of the storms coming in because we've had a few storms now, but it's been mostly rain, if the rain even makes it to the Sierra. There's been different factors. El Nino is one of those factors. There are warmer storms, higher snow levels. Last year it was La Nina transitioning into El Nino, which means colder storms, right? This year, warmer storms, warmer water, warmer air. Everything about El Nino means warmer, and that can mean harder for it to snow in the Sierra. Not impossible, obviously, as we just saw, but it means it's more difficult. So a lot of questions now are being asked. What does this mean for drought? Well, to start with, we're not in drought right now. None of the state of California is in drought. 96.65% of the state is not in any dry category at all. Only 3 1/3, 3.35% of the state in the yellow colors here are just abnormally dry. It's not drought. It just means it's drier than usual, but it doesn't technically classify as drought. And that's right along the Colorado River and then along the Klamath River, which have been two places that have been hard hit by drought over the last 5+ years and have had trouble recovering. But again, this is not technically drought. It just means it's a little drier than we would like it to be at this time of the year. But the good news is, even if we don't have an average snow year, an average water year this year, we're going to be okay because of the water we got last year. Look at the reservoirs here. Shasta's at 69% capacity, Oroville 68% capacity. But look at the percent of average to date. 116% of average in Shasta, 130% of average in Oroville. Folsom's at 48% capacity, but that's 116% of average at Folsom as well. We'll go a little bit further to the south, look at a few more. New Maloney's 83% capacity, 149% of average to date. Don Pedro, 80% capacity, 118% of average to date. And the St. Louis, 56% capacity and 89% average to date. This one is an off-stream reservoir, though. This one is basically everything that's in it is purposefully put in it by the state and different water managers, right? It's not like we get a lot of snow melt into the San Luis, unlike all the other reservoirs we just talked about. This one is controlled a lot more. So it's important to know that as we look at the numbers. But still, even with the management that's going on at the San Luis Reservoir, it's at 89% of average to date. And that's good news. And so that leads me again to make the point that even if we don't get back to average for the season, in terms of rain and snow, we're going to be okay in terms of drought this year. We might enter drought, some of the low categories, but we're not going to be under severe water restrictions. We're not going to be where we were last winter, where we really truly desperately needed that rain and the snow. We're going to be okay no matter what the rest of this wet season holds. Of course, we would like it to continue to rain and continue to snow. But look at this data here. Now, this is about a month old from December 5th. That's the last time this was updated. But the point still stands because it hasn't changed all that much in just a month. Northern California reservoirs plus northern snowpack. This is looking at the Sacramento and Feather River watersheds here. And we're above average in both reservoir storage and reservoir storage plus snowpack. Breaking it down a little further, this is the Northern California reservoirs and just the northern snowpack. Reservoir storage right about average there, but the snowpack is above average as of December 5th when you combine it with reservoir storage. Not just snowpack itself, but when you combine the snow plus the reservoirs, we're doing okay. And then we'll look at the Central Sierra. Very similar story. When you combine it with reservoir storage and the snowpack, it's all right. That's the Yuba and Merced. And then Southern Sierra, a similar story. So again, that was updated December 5th. We're doing all right in terms of where we are right now. Other people have been asking and thinking about the Colorado River as well, because it's not just California that needs the water. It's a lot of different states. And the Colorado begins in the Rocky Mountains. So this is taking a look at Wyoming, Colorado, and Utah. And what you notice is that the Rockies in Colorado, the Colorado Rockies, and then the Rockies in Utah, they're all about 0 to 30%, 30 to 50%, maybe as good as 70 to 90% of average snowpack. So it's not just us here in California that's really struggling to find the snow so far this winter. It's also extending over our mountain range into the Rocky Mountains as well. Very similar data here. We're looking at water stored in snowpack in 20 reservoirs upstream of Lake Powell in the Colorado River Basin. That's a long way to say it's exactly what we just looked at in the Sierra Nevada, except we're looking at it now in the Rocky Mountains. So this is upstream reservoirs plus snowpack is above average. The reservoir storage, the little inset here you can see, is just a little bit above average when you look at upstream storage and upstream snowpack of Lake Powell. Now we'll look at Lake Powell as well. Powell is below average, as you might expect. It's been quite a story there if you've been following it over the last year or plus. And then when you compare that with Powell plus the upstream snowpack reservoirs, still below average. But again, the upstream reservoirs plus snowpack and the upstream reservoirs are hanging in there. So all around, so far, based on the data we've got, based on the water we had last year, even if we struggle to get back towards average or even get above average, we're going to be okay in terms of drought this year, in terms of water restrictions. Of course, we don't want to enter drought again, which this could be. Again, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but it could be a situation where we enter drought over the summer into the fall, and then who knows what the winters ahead are going to be like. Maybe they're going to be warmer, maybe they're going to be drier, and then we kind of continue to dive deeper into drought. But we're not going to jump from where we are now in no drought all the way into an exceptional drought category. It's just not going to happen. Not going to happen based on the water we've got in the reservoirs, based on the lake levels, based on the snowpack, even though it's quite a bit below average. Every little bit helps. And that's, I hope, a good explainer, a good way to kind of put some minds at ease, worrying that we might be re-entering drought. We're not. We're not going to enter that exceptional drought category. Things are going to be just fine. So that's where we are right now. But I will say, before I let y'all go, that we have more storms in the forecast, and January as a whole is looking quite favorable for storms to move in to California and other parts of the West. It's looking colder, it's looking wetter, and El Nino is still out there. And we've been saying for a while, this is a possibility where we get off to a slow start, but then January, February, we maybe get a series of storms moving through. And based on the data we've got right now, that's what it's looking like. Thanks for watching, everybody. Happy New Year.